Good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS 3000 News Live. And with that, currently your host, Brandon Martin, even though I did not put the display on there, but that's okay. They should know who I am. Sorry I didn't do one yesterday's morning's episode because I overslept again. So hopefully I don't have to do that again in the future to come. But that's okay. However, for today's program, we are going to be talking about the second anniversary of the Midnight Snack that featured Tom and Jerry. That was from yesterday. That will be at the 5:30 hour. Then at the 6 o'clock hour, we'll talk about the 72nd anniversary of Winston Churchill's V for Victory campaign. That was from yesterday as well. And also at the 6:30 hour, we will be celebrating a belated 61st birthday to Anthony Edwards. Played much roles in ER and many others. Plus, the headlines, sports, and what day is today. So we'll go ahead and get started right here, right now, for Thursday, July 20th, 2023. Travis King crossed the border into North Korea on Tuesday, becoming the first U.S. service member to do so since 1982. A handful of American soldiers defected in the years after the Korean War. Scientists have used a gene editing technique to make mosquitoes allies in the fight against malaria. Environmentalists are troubled by the idea of genetically modifying wild animals. CU Coventry's assembly line approach makes college cheaper, faster, and less intimidating for students without the kinds of add-ons that push up prices. As heat waves hit the U.S., delivery drivers are especially vulnerable to rising temperatures. Workers at some of the biggest delivery companies are pushing for more protection against extreme heat. A winning ticket has been sold in Los Angeles for the Powerball jackpot worth an estimated $1.08 billion, the sixth largest in U.S. history, and the third largest in the history of the game. Wildlife authorities have killed the leader of a pack of dingoes that mauled a jogger on a popular Australian tourist island in a ferocious attack that a rescuer said could have been fatal. Women who had complicated and tragic pregnancies are suing Texas over its abortion bans. A hearing had emotional testimony and in an Austin courtroom yesterday. The state wants the case dismissed. The streamer said it added 5.9 million customers during the second quarter. Its share price had almost doubled over the past year. The board of trustees found that Mark Tessier Levine did not directly have a hand in falsifying data, but that he did not properly oversee members of his lab who did. Police said there were also multiple injuries during the incident, which took place near the hotel where Team Norway has been staying. Planet Money Summer School is a crash course in economics for your ears. See the world through the lens of an economist, and you'll start to feel a little less overwhelmed when making financial decisions. Taco John's had the trademark since 1989 in all U.S. states except New Jersey. Taco Bell argued that the phrase is too common for anyone to own exclusive rights to it. Federal public defenders face a looming budget crisis that threatens their ability to represent indigent people accused of crimes. The recently approved contraception, Opill, should be available for consumers next year. It's not clear how or whether insurance will cover it. Here's what's known so far. Extreme temperatures present a significant challenge to AC systems, which engineers and installers say are really only designated to keep indoor temperatures about 20 degrees cooler than outside. Excuse me. A decades-long investigation into the murder of the rapper appeared to take another turn on Monday after Las Vegas police searched a home in Henderson, Nevada. The 25-year-old nursing student vanished after calling 911 and a family member to report seeing a young child wandering along the side of an interstate in Alabama. South Africa says Russian President Vladimir Putin will not attend the BRICS summit it's hosting in August, putting an end to questions over whether it would act on an arrest warrant for Putin. Judge Lewis A. Kaplan wrote that the jury in the Carroll case did not reach a seriously erroneous result, as former President Donald Trump said. Facebook parent company has released its newest AI for free. Trump says he's a target in the January 6th insurrection investigation. An Oklahoma boy finds a piranha-like fish with human-like teeth. Travis King, 23 years old, was stationed in South Korea, but was scheduled to fly back to the U.S. to face disciplinary action when he escaped an airport outside of Seoul and managed to flee into North Korea. And a dramatic increase in ocean temperatures around South Florida in early July caught scientists off guard. Now they're rushing to help struggling coral only the inshore reef of the continental U.S. And that's going to be the headlines for Thursday, July 20th, 2023. And now let's get into the sports, as we'll go ahead and go for the trade deadline for each team's strategy for the trade deadline. So basically, Jason went over on Monday with the AL East, and also on last Tuesday you went over the AL Central. For me this time, I'm actually going to do two, since I'm going to make up from yesterday. We're going to do the AL West, then following after that, the NL East. The Los Angeles Angels were expected to be buyers, but that could change. The Angels were thought to be obvious buyers, especially after trading for infielders Eduardo Escobar and Mike Moustakas to help with their infield depth. But the Angels struggled to end the first half and need to play well for the rest of July to guarantee that general manager Perry Minasian will be aggressive and continue to add pieces. Two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani is in the last year of his deal, which complicates things as the Angels want to get to the postseason and convince him to resign. But if they fall out of contention by the trade deadline, they could pivot and sell. But they're not expected to trade Ohtani no matter their record. It was by Rhett Bollinger. The Houston Astros, as usual. The defending World Series champions will be buyers, which should come as no surprise. But Astros fans Sorry about that. It does this again, I'm gonna. Well, I'll deal with that another time. But mid-season deals for players like Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke might want to temper expectations. There's a case to be made that getting Jordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, and Jose Urquidy back from the IL will be enough to bolster their playoff chances. And if they do add, it probably wouldn't be a big name player or pitcher. The Athletics. So, the selling of players who once contributed to playoff runs in Oakland continued this offseason when Sean Murphy was traded to the Braves as part of a 3-team deal. Veteran-type players who could help a contender include right-hander Trevor May and infielders Aldamas Diaz, Jace Peterson, and Tony Kemp. Right-handed pitcher Paul Blackburn and designated hitter / outfielder Brett Rooker might be the two players who are most attracted to clubs around the league, though there might not be much motivation on the A's part to trade either, as Blackburn still has one more year left in arbitration, while Rooker has 4 years of control left. The Mariners get that run-producing bat. The good news in Seattle is that the Mariners went into All-Star break 7-2, closing their gap for the AL wildcard spot to only 4 games. If they had spiraled in the other direction, it would have put their front office in a precarious spot to potentially sell rather than add. And if they buy, the Mariners should swing for at least one high-caliber bat. For the second straight year, the Mariners had a mostly average to below offense. They've reached the break with a collective slash line of 233, 312, 391, 703 ops. Good for 101 WRC. League average is 100. For a team that thrives on the draft, the develop and trade model, this is their time to shine, as David Kramer would say. That's what it says on there. The Texas Rangers, buyers for pitching, and more pitching. The Rangers opened the trade deadline floodgates early when they traded for Royals reliever Aroldis Chapman on June 30th. But Texas still needs more help on the pitching staff. Texas has 2 starting pitchers with sub 3.00 ERAs in Nathan Eovaldi and Dane Dunning, plus John Gray with a 3.45 mark, but the rotation still needs depth to make a playoff push behind them. An even bigger issue sits in the bullpen, where the Rangers have a 4.44 ERA, the 7th worst in MLB. Chapman was an important add and will surely move into the closer role sooner rather than later, but even more additions are sure to come. Now we look at the NL East. The Atlanta Braves buy a starting pitcher. Maybe. General Manager Alex Anthopoulos will not just sit still over the next couple weeks. He'll explore many different opportunities. The main question is, what is his team's biggest need? The bullpen has been strengthened with the improvements made by Joe Jimenez and Kirby Yates. A backup infielder might be the only need from a position player standpoint. So even with Max Fried possibly just a couple of weeks from being activated, acquiring starting pitcher might be the best potential move. Bryce Elder has been great, but like Jared Schuster, AJ Smith-Shawver, and Michael Soroka. There's reason to wonder if they may fatigue in September. From Mark Ballman. The Miami Marlins buyers, if there's a match. As one of the MLB's surprise clubs, the Marlins are ready to be buyers for the first time in general manager Kim Noon's tenure. As was the case at last year's deadline, however, they will not make a move unless they receive appropriate value back. Unfortunately for Miami, there's not much of a buyer's market at the moment, with other clubs still trying to figure out where they stand. Adding an impact bat will continue to be the focus. Christina De Nicola. And Jason's team, the New York Mets, mostly stand pat. The Mets have played themselves into a difficult position. Buying seems aggressive, considering this bunch was recently 10 games under 500 and has virtually no chance to win the NL East. The Mets are also reluctant to trade any of their top prospects, but selling even minor parts feels like doing the team a disservice, considering the Mets possess the most expensive roster in Major League history. Complete with enough talent to mount a realistic run at a wild card spot. Most likely, then the Mets will do a little at the deadline, unless opportunities arise to improve the 2024 team without sacrificing their competitiveness down the stretch. Anthony DiComo. Then we got the Washington Nationals. Sell to build for future. Just as they have done in the past two trade deadlines, the Nationals are expected to be sellers. Their roster is constructed with several veterans on expiring contracts, and that could be moved to acquire younger players for their future. Notable players on one-year deals are third baseman Yeimer Candelario and left fielder Corey Dickerson, first baseman Dominic Smith, and right-hander Carl Edwards Jr. And that will be from Jessica Camerato. The Philadelphia Phillies. A corner outfielder. Bryce Harper will make his first start at first base during the team's upcoming series against the Brewers. As a result, Kyle Schwarber is expected to move from left field and see more time at DH. The Phillies could look to acquire a corner outfielder, preferably somebody who can hit for power and play at least average defense. It would make an already deep lineup even deeper. The Phillies might also try to upgrade the number 5 spot in their rotation. And that was from Todd Zolecki. And we'll look it over the NL Central for tomorrow. And basically, Jason will wrap up on Monday for NL West. Speaking on that, we'll go ahead and go over the scores from yesterday's game. We have in the following. The Pirates beating the Guardians 7-5. The Orioles beating the Dodgers 8-5. The Rangers beating the Rays 5-1. The Cardinals beating the Marlins 6-4. Excuse me. The Astros beating the Rockies 4-1. The Athletics beating the Red Sox 6-5. The Brewers beating the Phillies 5-3. The Padres beating the Blue Jays 2-0. The Los Angeles Angels beating the Yankees 7-3. And I'll go say my line and say this. The Yankees lose. But that's all the side though, really. The Reds beating the Giants 3-2. We have the Mets getting the win over the White Sox 5-1. We have the Diamondbacks beating the Braves 5-3. The Cubs beating the Nationals 8-3. We have the Tigers beating the Royals 3-2. And the Twins beating the Mariners 6-3. And that's basically the scores. So let's go take a look at the standings right now for the MLB to see where their standings are at right now for each league, each of their. So the Orioles still have the lead. Oh, and got the Rays in second, Blue Jays third. The Red Sox fourth, and the Yankees are fifth. For the Twins, still leading, still ahead of the Guardians, 2.5 games ahead. Then you got the Tigers, the White Sox, and the Royals. For the West, for the AL, the Rangers still on top, 4.5 ahead. The Astros are not too far behind. The Angels, along with the Seattle Mariners, drop down. And then the Athletics. For the National League, for the East, Braves still continue to, even though they're on a losing streak now, still 9.5 games ahead over the Phillies. Then along with the Marlins, the Mets, and the Nationals. For the Central, for the NL, Brewers are still ahead of 2.5 games ahead of the Reds, along with the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Pirates. For the West, Dodgers still holding on to 1.5 game ahead of the Diamondbacks, then along with the San Francisco Giants, who are tied actually, along with the San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies. Let's go ahead and take a look for the holidays, actually for what day is today. So it's 14 of them. Let's look at National Moon Day. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Colombia Independence Day. Join Colombians as they commemorate their independence, which sparked independent movements as part of Latin America. Crown Prince Haakon's Day. Prepare to learn more about the Crown Prince of Norway and the day that celebrates him. International Chess Day. Chess lovers celebrate their favorite game today in the tradition spanning more than 50 years. Some people will love chess, that would be for them to celebrate that holiday. Lempiria Day. Lempiria Day is a celebration dedicated to the national hero of the Honduras. And everyone would love this, since we always get Chinese food, get one of these guys. The National Fortune Cookie Day. Celebrate National Fortune Cookie Day to add some fun and excitement to your life. And you already see this many times of this candy. National Lollipop Day. They come in many flavors, but mostly fruit flavors for licking or biting. National Megan Day. Explore some of today's most famous Megans' life stories and most significant achievements. National Natalie Day. Let's look at some of the famous people with the name Natalie in recent history. National Pennsylvania Day. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to honor Pennsylvania's rich heritage and accomplishments. National Ugly Truck Contest Day. Really interesting there to say. Wondering what a National Ugly Truck Contest Day would look like? Join us and discover. Then we have Space Exploration Day. Join us as we embark on a mission to the moon and for Space Exploration Day. Women's Union Establishment Day. During this special celebration, help raise awareness of one of the many issues challenging women. And finally, World Jump Day. Jumping to combat global warming. That's what World Jump Day is all about. And that's basically it for the What Day Is Today, as we'll go ahead and take our first commercial break. And when we do come back, and it's 5:26, we'll go over the 72nd anniversary of the Midnight Snack that featured Tom and Jerry. That was from yesterday. And we will do that right after this.
Please pass the all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Would you please pass the jelly?
Polaner All Fruit is real fruit, sweetened only with fruit juice. You'll call it delicious, you'll call it remarkable, but please, don't dare call it jelly. Polaner All Fruit, the spreadable fruit.
Worst part about shaving for me? Razor drag. Edge? No razor drag. Extra moisturizers and lubricants. Razors glide effortlessly across my bare skin. So smooth. Just glide. No hang-ups. It makes shaving feel so good. It makes shaving feel so right. Edge. Get some.
Jello pudding pops, Jello pudding pops, frozen pudding on a stick. You know, Jello pudding pops is a winner with all the soapbox racers I know.
It is?
Mm-hmm. And even your mechanic's getting all revved up about it because it's so rich and creamy.
Yeah!
And it always gets the green light from Mom because it's made with real pudding.
Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding. So you know it's wholesome.
A true winner.
And it gets a green light from Mom.
Boom.
Moms sure know how to make life easier. Mine was always there for me. Like another mom I know. This mom, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. M-O-M. The laxative that helps your body work naturally for easy overnight relief. Would Mom be harsh? No. And Mom's even easier to take with this dosage cup. See? Mom knows just what you need. So when you run into trouble, remember, nobody treats you better than Mom.
I bet you did something today you feel pretty good about. Bet you did. So go get your Mars bar. Come on, you deserve the best. Can't you just taste that rich milk chocolate, creamy caramel, and snuggle deep inside soft nougat? Big, fresh, crunchy nuts after nuts after nuts. This is what you deserve. You deserve every big, crunchy nut in a Mars bar. You did do something good today, didn't you?
Oh, man. Stop texting me, people. Huh? I'm over my limit. I get charged for each text now.
You should switch to Metro PCS. Text all you want for only $3 a month.
Oh, okay, right. And then your bill is hand-delivered by Bigfoot on a singing pony.
Sounds like make-believe, but it's not. Text all you want for $3 a month and no contract. Metro PCS.
Hello, hello, hello.
Unlimit yourself.
Hello, hello, hello. It is close to 5:30 right now as we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. And once again, I am Brandon Martin. We'll be taking over the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But we know Jason Tania will be coming back this coming Monday and Tuesday to have you guys back here once again. Now, let's go ahead and look over the 72nd anniversary of the Midnight Snack. That was a Tom and Jerry cartoon. So basically, that was released yesterday, we all know, was on July 19th, 1941. So, we all know the Midnight Snack is a Tom and Jerry cartoon released, as I mentioned the date from yesterday. it is the second of the Tom and Jerry films, returning to its basic premise of the previous film, Puss Gets the Boot, following that cartoon's Academy Awards nomination. This cartoon featured the second appearance of Tom and Jerry, and was the first in which the characters were given their familiar names. The first cartoon, Puss Gets the Boot, had the cat named Jasper and the mouse without a name, though animation model sheets referred to as the latter as Jinx. For the plot, the cartoon takes place in a kitchen at midnight. Jerry pokes his head out of the refrigerator door and steals some cheese, unaware that Tom is watching him. Tom weighs the mouse down enough such that he can no longer see in front of him. After Jerry falls off from a rolling pin, Tom emerges from his hiding place with a smug face. Jerry salutes the cat and returns the slice of cheese to the refrigerator. He then proceeds to steal just a tiny bit of cheese, but Tom stomps on his tail with one of his hind paws and replaces the cheese. However, the cat soon realizes that he has the free run of the refrigerator. So he places an iron on top of Jerry's tail and begins eating. Jerry frees himself, but is soon caught by Tom and returns himself to the iron. Tom then presents Jerry with the wedge of cheese, but the iron attached to Jerry's tail prevents him from reaching the cheese. Tom then proceeds to allow Jerry to lick some cream off a few donuts, and then the mouse gets sprayed with the rest of it, plus a cherry for good measure. Tom then smells the cheese, but soon sees that it is the wedge of cheese, much to his nose's displeasure, and tosses it away. Unfortunately, the cheese smashes some crockery and wakes up Tom's owner, Mammy Two Shoes, who goes downstairs. Tom quickly shoves Jerry into the refrigerator and hides. Mammy rushes in and opens the fridge, screaming in terror when she spots Jerry leaping onto a stool and comically hiking up numerous patterned layers of underclothes. Mammy calls Tom, who emerges and pursues Jerry. In the midst of the chase, Mammy leaves the room. Tom surprises Jerry behind a trash bin, but Jerry tricks Tom into looking over the bin and jumps on the pedal, sending it to crash into Tom's face. Jerry then jumps into the toaster and Tom starts it. Jerry pops up. His tail is on fire and cools it in a sink full of water, only to be chased again by Tom. Tom ends up losing his grip and gets his tail caught up in an ironing board, with his body facing the refrigerator. Jerry climbs down the blind, picks up a fork with his tail, and stabs Tom with a fork, causing Tom to slide down the board and eventually breaking the plates up a washing board onto the grater and crashes into the fridge just as Jerry had planned. Excuse me. Mammy re-enters the room on the belief that Tom has caught Jerry and disposed of Jerry. Then she opens the refrigerator door to get Tom a bowl of cream, only to find Tom in the refrigerator covered in food. Jerry overhears Mammy shouting at Tom and kicking the screeching cat out of the house while munching on his wedge of cheese and feeling very pleased with himself. Basically, the Reception Motion Picture Exhibitor reviewed the short on August 6, 1941, not yet recognizing the soon-to-be stars as anything special. The old history of the cat and the mouse, with the latter against victorious over the cat who winds up in the refrigerator. Some byplay is humorous, fair. The voice casting was Harry Lang as Tomcat, was uncredited. William Hanna as Jerry Mouse was also uncredited. Lillian Randolph as Mammy Two Shoes in 1941, the original version, that was also uncredited. And Thea Vidal as Mammy Two Shoes in the 1989 dub version, that's also uncredited. Availability for basically Tom and Jerry Golden Collection from Volume 1 for Disc 1. Tom and Jerry Spotlight Collection, Volume 2, Disc 1. The VHS starring Tom and Jerry. Laserdisc, Tom and Jerry Classics, and The Art of Tom and Jerry. And that is it for the 72nd anniversary of the Midnight Snack. Was featured a Tom and Jerry cartoon. And since we do have time, let's go ahead and go over the weather for today. And we'll go ahead and get this up right now. And a little bit of a standby. Okay. Taking sweet time. Scroll down, please. Thank you. Come on. There you are. All right. So let's go over the weather across the country. We look at the East Coast. We have upper 70s, mid to upper 80s, low to mid 90s, upper 90s. We look at Caribou at 77, Boston 78, Buffalo 84 with a chance of showers. Done with in New York, same thing at 84. Washington at DC at 89. Norfolk at 88, some chance of showers, thunder showers. Charlotte 91. Atlanta 92, also with a chance of showers. Jacksonville 98. Tampa 93, chance of some showers. And Miami at 89, also with a chance of some showers as well. Look at the Midwest. We have upper 60s, got low. We got upper mid to upper 80s, low to upper 90s. Sault Ste. Marie 68 with chance of some thunder showers. Detroit at 84, some showers. We also have Chicago at 86, Cincinnati 89, also chance of some showers. St. Louis at 91, also chance with some showers. Memphis at 95, New Orleans at 97. And we look at International Falls. We have it at 76, Minneapolis at 81. In the Central Plains, we have the low. We got mid 70s, low to upper 80s, upper 90s, and low to close to upper 100s. We look at Minot at 81, Rapid City 75, Kansas City 89, Oklahoma City 96, Dallas 104, Lubbock at 100, El Paso 109, San Antonio 104, Houston at 99, and Brownsville at 99. We look at the rest of the West Coast. We have the upper 80s. We have got upper 60s, low to upper mid to upper 90s, low 100s, low 110s, upper 110s. We look at Seattle at 85, Cut Bank at 86, Billings at 87, Boise at 100 degrees. Whew. Medford 99. Reno 95. Salt Lake City 94. San Francisco 67. Las Vegas 113. Albuquerque 102. Los Angeles 92. And Phoenix, not surprising, 118. For those at the hundreds of Boise, along with Las Vegas, Albuquerque, Phoenix, El Paso, Lubbock, Dallas, San Antonio. Again, same as I do the same thing as always before. If you do want to go out early, do so right now, which is the best suggestion. And don't go outside at all. Have the cooler air and stay indoors. Get some cool AC in the house. Relax. And go on to the next day. So basically that will be the weather since we had enough time. And with that, it is 5:41 right now. We'll go ahead and take another. Well, actually, you know what? Since we have a lot of time and we don't have till 6 o'clock, you know what? Let's go ahead and go over this next one. The 72nd anniversary of the Winston Churchill's V for Victory campaign. On July 19th, 1941, which was yesterday's 72nd anniversary, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill officially established the V for Victory campaign. The letter V became a rally cry for people in occupied nations as well as Germans who opposed the Nazis. The idea of using V for Victory was developed by Victor de Lavallée. I can't even talk. Damn, that blasted. Lavallée. Hopefully I pronounced that correct, but if not, then that's okay. The former Belgian Minister of Justice in January 1941, he was director of the Belgian French language broadcast on the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Company, and not the other one, sick people. During one of his broadcasts on January 14, 1941, he suggested that people in Belgium paint a V for victory everywhere as a symbol to stand up against Germany. He chose this because it could represent victoire, French for victory, or head, Dutch for freedom. It wasn't long before the letter V was found on buildings and roads throughout Belgium. Other Allied nations adopted the symbol as well. Part of expanding V for Victory campaign included the use of the opening notes of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony at the start of BBC broadcasts. This was because the Morse code for V is ... and the song begins with the same rhythm. Some took joy in the fact that the Allies were using German music as a rally cry against their German enemies. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill had learned of the far-reaching support of the V for Victory idea. On July 19, 1941, he launched an official V for Victory campaign. Churchill announced the V sign is the symbol for the unconquerable will of the occupied territories of a portent of the fate awaiting Nazi tyranny. So long as the people continue to reach all collaboration with the invader, it is sure his cause will perish, and Europe will be liberated. The V for Victory idea spread even farther and faster after Churchill's announcement after the U.S. joined the war. the phrase was used on posters promoting the war effort. Around the world, people tapped out on the Morse code for V and flashed the V for victory hand gesture. Most photos of Churchill after his announcement showed him making the famous V gesture. The Nazis hoped to combat the campaign, claiming that V stood for Victoria, and that by making the V symbol, civilians were showing their support for a German victory. During the Vietnam War, the hand gesture came to represent peace. And yeah, that is basically it for the 72nd anniversary of Winston Churchill's V for Victory campaign. It is now 5:46, and we'll go ahead right now and take another commercial break. When we come back, we will be going over the belated 61st birthday to Anthony Edwards. And we will do that right after this.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon. Which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamonds. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of vain contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me? I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola and smile. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist.
They do exist. Santa?
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. And once again, I am Brandon Martin, your host. As this time, we'll go over a belated 61st birthday to Anthony Edwards. And we'll go ahead and go over his accomplishments and everything he has done over the years. Anthony Charles Edwards, born July 19, 1962, is an American actor and director. He played Dr. Mark Green on the first 8 seasons of ER, for which he received a Golden Globe Award and 6 Screen Actor Guild Awards, and was nominated for 4 consecutive Primetime Emmy Awards. He has appeared in various films and television series, including Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Top Gun, Zodiac, Gotcha, Miracle Mile, Revenge of the Nerds, Planes, Northern Exposure, and Designated Survivor. Edwards was born in Santa Barbara, California, the son of Erica Kim Edwards Plack, and an artist / landscape painter, and Peter Edwards, an architect to whom he was one of the 5 children. His maternal grandfather was designer Kern Kem Weber. Excuse me. He is partly of German and Irish descent. He graduated from San Marcos High School in 1980. Excuse me. I just had the hiccups. Sorry about that, y'all. Edwards was encouraged by his parents to attend college before pursuing his interest in acting, which grew from the area's theater community. He received a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in England and studied theater at the University of Southern California. But by the age of 19, was being offered enough acting work to enable him to leave college. It was Edwards' role as LTJG, Nick Goose Bradshaw, alongside Tom Cruise in the 1986 film Top Gun, that brought his first widespread public acknowledgement. His character, who died in an aviation accident, was among the most prominent and popular in the film. Scenes with him and his film family, played by Meg Ryan and Aaron and Adam Wise, were later reprised as flashbacks in the 2022 sequel, Top Gun Maverick. Edwards' best-known role as in Dr. Mark Green on the long-running TV series ER. From the series premiered in 1994 to the end of the 8th season in 2002. The series also afforded Edwards his first opportunity to direct. Edwards' desire to pursue directing led to his request to be written out of the television series, actually. He reported earned $35 million for 3 seasons on ER, which made him one of the television's highest paid actors. Edwards received 4 Primetime Emmy Award nominations for ER. He won a Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a TV Series after being nominated 4 times, and he has 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. In 2008, Edwards returned to ER to reprise his role as Dr. Green in flashback scenes where he treats the dying son of character Catherine Banfield for one episode during his 15th and final season. Following ER, he took some time to raise his children, appreciating the privilege that his ER salary provided. In 2010, Edwards appeared in the movie Motherhood, which set a record for the biggest bomb in British cinema history by garnering £88 on 11 tickets on opening weekend. Motherhood did not fare much better in the United States, earning $93,388 in 3 weeks of release. At the time, he said he took the role because it seemed like a very organic and real thing. It really kind of reminded me of what the dynamic in a family is like. Edwards reunited with Val Kilmer, another actor from Top Gun, where he voiced one of the fighter jets in the Disney Toon Studios film Planes. In 2018, Edwards was cast in the recurring role in the 3rd season of Netflix Designated Survivor as Mars Harper, the president's chief of staff. In 2022, Edwards was cast as Alan Reed in Netflix docuseries Inventing Anna. Edwards received 4 Emmy nominations for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series for ER, and 1 as an executive producer on Outstanding Television Movie winner Temple Grandin. He earned a People's Choice Award for Favorite Male Performer in a New Television Series, 1995, and won 6 Screen Actor Guild Awards for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in the Drama Series, 1996 and 1998. Best Ensemble Cast, 1996, 97, 98, and 99. He won a Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Television Drama in 1998. Edwards also won a Daytime Emmy for the production of the underground rock documentary NYHC in 1999. And the Telepic adaptation of Kimberly Willis Holt's 1998 coming-of-age novel My Louisiana Sky in 2001, and earned the Carnegie Medal Award for My Louisiana Sky in 2003. After a long career in television, Edwards made his Broadway debut as his second act in 2018 in the revival of Children of a Lesser God at Studio 54. In 2015, he appeared in Classic Stage Company's A Month in the Country, but his stage acting career began when he was growing up in Santa Barbara. On May 13th, 2022, Edwards made his unexpected Broadway musical debut when he appeared as Dr. Walker in the Broadway production of Girl from the North Country. Due to COVID-19 cases impacting the cast, the show also stars his wife, Mare Winningham. Edwards was married to Jeannie Lobel, with whom he had 1 son and 3 daughters from 1994 to 2015. At the end of 2021, Edwards and longtime friend and fellow actor Mare Winningham eloped. On November 10th, 2017, Edwards wrote an essay on Medium in which he stated that screenwriter/producer Gary Goddard befriended and then sexually assaulted his friends and him for years when they were 12 years old. Edwards has been a licensed private pilot since 2012. And they got Big Zapper as Big Kono's boy, got Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Stoner Bud, Heart Like a Wheel, John Muldowney, age 15 to 23, High School USA as Bo Middleton, Revenge of the Nerds as played as Gilbert Lau, Gotcha as Jonathan Moore, The Sure Thing as Lance, mentioned Top Gun, Lieutenant J.G. Nick Goose Bradshaw, Summer Heat as Aaron. Same thing with Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise. Hawks as Decker. Miracle Mile, Harry Washoe, Mr. North. Theo Phyllis North, How I Got into College, Kip Hammett. Downtown, Alex Kearney. Pet Symmetry 2, Chase Matthews. Delta Heat, Mike Bishop. Landside, Bob Boyd. Sexual Healing as David. The Client, Clint Von Hooser. Charlie's Ghost Story as Dave. Goodnight Gorilla, voiced as a zookeeper. Playing by Heart as Roger. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, playing as Tony Dorfman. The Island of the Skog, he was a narrator. Jackpot, played as Tracy. North Fork as Happy. Thunderbirds, Ray Brains Hackenbacker. The Forgotten, Jim Peretta. Zodiac as Inspector William Armstrong. Motherhood as Avery Walsh. And I don't know what is going on, but that's all right. We're not going to worry about that later. Planes. Oh, I forgot. Big Sur. Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Planes. Echo as the voice. Experimenter as Miller. Consumed as lab scientist. Directed My Dead Boyfriend. Top Gun Maverick, same thing, but archive footage. In television, The Killing of Wendy Webster. Tommy Lee Swanson played that. Walking Tall as Robbie. Takes Two by Andy Quinn. High School USA, Bo Middleton. Call to Glory as Billy. Going for the Gold, the Bill Johnson Story as Bill Johnson played that. El Diablo, playing as Billy Ray Smith. Hometown Boy Makes Good, Boyd Geary. Northern Exposure, Mike Monroe. We all know he played ER, Dr. Mark Green. He was a host on Saturday Night Live in 1995. In Cold Blood, Dick Hickok. Curse as Ricky. Frazier as Tom for one episode. He appeared that. 0 Hour as Hank Galston. Girls as Melvin Shapiro. Blue Bloods as Owen Cairo. Billions as Judge Whit Wilcox for 2 episodes. Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Patrick Griffin as 1 episode. Drunk History, Giles Allen. Law and Order True Crime, Judge Stanley Weisberg, recurring role for 6 episodes. Designated Survivor, White House Chief of Staff Mars Harper. Inventing Anna, playing as Alan Reed. We Crashed, played as Bruce Dunleavy. Tales of the Walking Dead, Dr. Chauncey Everett. He produced Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Borderline, NYHC, My Louisiana Sky, Die Mommy Die. He was a producer, and Temple Grandin as an executive producer. And with that, that's basically everything from Anthony Edwards. So happy belated birthday to you, Anthony. Hopefully you have a lot more years to come, still acting to that day and still doing your best. So once again, happy belated 61st birthday to you, Anthony Edwards. All right. It is 6:06. We'll go and take one more commercial break. When we come back, we will have a new segment that is a new segment from Monday, which is this is an editorial. And we will do the editorial right after this quick commercial break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
World at Silver City Dodge Toyota.
Go ahead, make my coffee. To satisfy the toughest customers, only the best tasting coffee will do. Go ahead, make my coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, each and every pot is brewed fresh and served fresh at the peak of its flavor. If you're a tough customer, only the taste of this coffee will do. So go ahead, let Dunkin' Donuts make your coffee exquisite. Indeed.
Hi, Tom Bodette, quote, checking in on my smartphone. Everyone's checking in nowadays, at airports, restaurants, appointments with certain medical specialists. Seriously, people, TMI. Anyway, thanks to the Motel 6 mobile app, you can book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6 on your smartphone and get a great rate. Then, when you get to Motel 6, you can check in. After you check in, your friends will be totes jealous. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
To help you paint the picture, you know what I'm saying? Burger King got these brand new dinner baskets. I love this place. Not hoops, baskets. You know, if you come in between the hours of 4 to 8, you get like these dinner baskets. You get a chicken dinner basket, shrimp dinner basket, Whopper dinner basket, or steak dinner basket. Who ordered the chicken? Who got the Whopper dinner basket? You get a choice of salad or coleslaw, baked potato or French fries. So you like having it like your way.
Yes, my way.
I love this place. I love it more than you do.
The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hit joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under $50. $50? Now isn't that nice? The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Tire Kingdom tires, 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 tires. If tires are what you need, the lowest price is guaranteed. At Tire Kingdom, the best tires at the best price. No hassle service, and we always treat you nice. Ooh, Tire Kingdom tires, 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 tires.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
And it is 6:10 right now, and we're back for DMS 3000 News Live for Thursday, July 20th, 2023. And now we look at, this is an editorial we basically talk about whatever we want to talk about and give our thoughts and our takes about this. And I know we don't want to talk about politics as much on here, but in this case, this is one exception. Just for this one. Basically, letting the air out with inflation coming down, the next months are pivotal. Let's go ahead and read this, though. After months of teetering on the edge, it seems inflation is declining steadily, to the point where the specter of mega price jumps, erasing savings and putting families at risk of destitution, is fading. Excuse me. With the consumer price index falling from 4 to 3% last month. The Federal Reserve is taking a victory lap here, and they deserve some credit. Though the extent to which their dramatic rate hikes were the driving force in cooling inflation is arguable. They had an impact, no doubt, but the resolution of a number of supply chain issues has potentially been the most significant factor, one that the central bank has little control over. For them to be still on the rate hike warpath is concerning, given the extent to which there is agreement, though obviously not consensus, in the economics sphere about the likelihood that we will be achieving our coveted soft landing has risen substantially, to the point that keeping a hand on the throttle might make us miss the runway in a catastrophic way. Yet the Fed and its preternaturally conservative bent will do what it deems fit, just as it always has. For their part, consumers should feel more confident that the economy won't fall out from under their feet. While low employment has been met with skepticism by Federal Chair Jay Powell, it's good news for Americans who are not only seeing work, but seeing the labor crunch raise wages and grant them greater bargaining power, which also fed into something of an overdue organized labor blowback. It's not all sunshines and rainbows. Mortgages remain very high, and certain adverse economic circumstances will not and cannot be fixed by top-down monetary policy, but by the painstaking work of long-term economic and infrastructure strategies. Fed policy can impact but not ultimately address New York's high rents. For example, only sustained local pressure and incentives for housing construction can help. Still, if runaway inflation is one fewer issue that consumers have to worry about, we'll count that as a win. So basically, inflation is still there. That's basically it. But even though it's going down right now, however, the prices still goes up. Like food, meats, everywhere. Gas as well. It's still in the summertime right now. And it's not, like I said, it's not going to go away. But the thing is, you're still going to get some high price. You're going to have some high prices, like in rent and everything else in housing. A lot. If you're owning the house, it's going to be a pain in the rear for you to do that. And And it's going to be a hard time on others who are not like middle class, high class people. For low class, like for myself and for many others, are going to have a hard time. And yes, sure, and I'm going to go a little off topic a bit. Basically, we're still in the pandemic. We still are. Since at 2020. And I don't want to get started with that year, the worst year ever for all of us. But, you know, since it's died down as much, so then we all know that basically the mask and all that has gone away as of April 19th of last year. We also continued that run, but we still had to wear a mask in like doctors, pharmacies, everything else. That happened April of this year. That also out the window as well. But that's all sunshines and rainbows, all that aside. But, you know, like I said, the inflation, like I said, it's not going to go away. And the prices are still going to go up, though, during the summer. We're still in the summertime, but it may go down like when we hit the fall. And then even in winter. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens from here. But, again, it's going to be, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. So it's going to be interesting, but only time will tell throughout, since we're already in the second half of this year, 2023. We'll see what happens as we'll progress into this year, the rest of this year, going into next year. But, yeah, that's basically it. So, basically, I'm going to just end it early as is. I'm like, Brandon, you thought we were going to have a 2-hour show. Well, yes, but since I got that out of the way, I could have gone another one. But I'm just going to lay back and call it a day right here. But, however, if you want us to send us a article that you want to talk about on that for us, if you want us to talk about on the DMS 3000 News Live, please feel free to DM us on from myself or Jason DeCanio. And if once that's added to the news, we will talk about that for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday show. And with that, please like this video, leave a comment, and if you're brand new to the David 3000 Network, make sure to subscribe and also hit that notification bell under the David 3000 Network on your YouTube app so you'll never miss an upload or a live stream. And that's basically for episode 26. Tomorrow we'll wrap up the week with DMS 3000 News Live. This is for episode 27 for July 21st, 2023. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see what comes up in my mind of everything else, and might do a promo later on tonight of what I want to go over. But either way, coming up in about 40 minutes, we'll be having the Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Along with Snowman, talk about all sports of whatever they're going to talk about. Then you also got the Brian Snow Show. We also have TSSU Live along with that. Then, actually, no, that was on Friday. Wrong day, Brandon, but that's all good. But yeah, either way, all that aside. Also, a new time that will be coming out, which is the Dugout Crew podcast, which they're coming back from All-Star break. So they're back at it at a new time. Don't know when it'll be. Also, we'll have the Queens New Yorker on tonight. And not on the David 3000 Network, is going to be on my channel, Brandon Martin, which you can check out another episode of the Rant and Rave podcast. This is episode 197. Woo! Oh my gosh. 3 more episodes away to get to 200 episodes. Wow, that's an amazing accomplishment from myself, along with my very good friends of mine, who co-founded Jordy Scow, co-host with, even though Uriel isn't here with us for the time being, but we still love you, by the way, Uriel. We still have our hearts and our thoughts to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Along with Michael Bombardier, also will not be here because of the free concerts. Andrew will, and of course Andrew Hawking. But yeah, feel free to check out Rant Rave Podcast episode 197 tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 p.m. Pacific on my channel. And yeah, that being said, I will turn over the reins over to Cole Johnson and Snowman for the Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. And yeah, that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow to wrap up the DMS 3000 News Live. And we will see you then. And you guys have a great morning, everybody. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David Dyson Network for great more content like this one.